My beloved child, listen carefully, for this is an urgent message. Do not rush to follow your emotions, nor force yourself to endure longer in the place you now dwell. I, the Lord your God, am changing your dwelling place. I declare clearly the time of relocation has drawn near, and you will not finish this year in your current home. This is not a coincidence, nor a fleeting thought. This is a promise recorded in the heavenly scrolls for you. I have prepared a path, and my angels go before you to clear the way. Do you sense the unusual restlessness within? The sleepless nights, the sudden sighs without knowing why, the heavy unseen weight pressing upon you as you step through your doorway. These are not illusions. They are alarms in your spirit, confirmations that you no longer belong there. I am stirring you to understand that remaining is no longer a safe choice but a delay of the promise. Hear my word. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Isaiah 4:3-1-9. This new thing begins with moving you out of your old address. I know you look at your finances, your obligations, the numbers, and whisper within, how can I possibly move? But my child, this transition is not carried by your strength nor devised by fleshly calculation. It is born out of my decree. When I determine who can annul, when my hand is stretched out, who can turn it back? For the Lord of hosts has purposed, and who will annul it? His hand is stretched out, and who will turn it back? Isaiah 1:4-7. I speak, so your heart may. Rest assured, the door opening for you is not turned by human hands, but unlocked by the key I place into the lock of your destiny. And the door I open no one can shut. See, I have set before you an open door which no one is able to shut. I know that you have but little power, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. Revelation 3:8. Understand this. Well, what I promise is not merely new walls or another roof. I am calling you out of a polluted spiritual atmosphere, out of memories heavy with arguments, betrayals, and wounds, out of the ground that has drained your peace, your emotional strength, and your faith. There are battles that only end when you leave a territory. There are chains that only break when you cross a threshold. Therefore I bring you into the place I have chosen for my name to dwell, then to the place that the Lord your God will choose to make his name dwell. There you shall bring all that I command you. Deuteronomy 1:2-1-1. I have seen the tears no one else witnessed. I have heard your midnight sighs. You tried to make the house feel enough, yet deep inside you know it is not where I intend for you to settle. That quiet whisper within you is discernment from the Holy Spirit. Do not condemn yourself as weak. It is I awakening your spiritual senses. Hear my decree. I have come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land to a good and broad land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Exodus 3:8. That broad place is not only about space. It is the atmosphere of freedom and blessing where your soul can breathe again, where your prayers flow unhindered. You may ask, what must I do right now? Begin with a faith that speaks. Say with me, Lord, I receive this change. I will not regard my present place as the final stop. Please lead me to the place you have chosen. Confess aloud. What I have put into your heart for spoken confession seals faith and unlocks ordained arrangements. Stand up in your room, lift your hands, and set your future apart for me. My home will be holy ground. I will live where the Lord dwells. As you confess, you close the wrong doors and at the same time welcome the right ones. Do not let fear about the how paralyze you. I do not call you to write the plan before you obey. I call you to obey so the heavenly plan will be revealed step by step. You do not need to know every detail. You need to hear my voice for the next step. I will show the place. I will show the timing. I will point to the person who holds the earthly key that corresponds to the key I placed in the hand of my angel for you. Be alert to recognize the signs: an unexpected phone call, an invitation that finds you. Instead of one you seek, an opportunity you could not have engineered yourself. That is when heaven has touched earth. I also warn you about opposing voices. The enemy does not want you to leave a place where he has set a snare. He will intimidate you with records, paperwork, public opinion, and closed possibilities. But remember, he does not hold your key. I hold it. And I declare to you, so your faith may be built up, Behold, I have set before you an open door which no one is able to shut. For you have a little power and have kept my word, and have not denied my name. Revelation 3:8. Use my words to silence him. Place your hand over your heart and repeat, I will depart in peace. I will enter with joy. Your word, Lord, is a lamp to my feet. Do not mistake false security for true peace. There are places that look secure to the world, quiet streets, a well-equipped room, tidy conveniences, but without my presence the soul is still exhausted. True peace does not come from walls. True peace comes from my presence. I want you in a place where that presence is easily felt, where praise rises naturally, where your children laugh without lingering anxiety, where visitors step in and say, there is something different here. That is my mark on your home. At that time, my people will dwell in a peaceful habitation, in secure dwellings, and in quiet resting places. Isaiah 3:2-1-8. So prepare your heart. First, clear away old thoughts. I am not enough. I am not worthy. It's too soon. It's too late. Replace them with the promise, I am enough for you. My grace is sufficient. Set aside fixed times of prayer to listen for guidance. If necessary, fast to sharpen your sensitivity. Write down every impression, street names, numbers, regions, times I may speak through small details. Tell a faithful companion to pray with you. I often confirm through the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. Finally, I call you to set a marker today. Write it down as if signing a covenant. I receive this move. I reject the heaviness and uncleanness of the old place. I step into the path the Lord has prepared. Read it aloud in your current home as an act of releasing the space, as a peaceful farewell. When you do, my angels, messengers of protection, provision, and guidance, will receive the command to accelerate. You will see bindings loosen, obstacles step back, and the right doors begin to open. I am the faithful one. I have ordained and I will bring it to pass. Rest in my word. Do not rush into anything, but do not be rooted in place either. Walk in my rhythm, one step at a time, with your eyes fixed on me. Soon you will hold the key in your hand. Soon you will open the door and kneel to whisper, the Lord has done this. And I will answer, yes, my child. I have brought you out to lead you in. From now on, your house will be my dwelling. My beloved child, now, I want to open your eyes to see something important. Not every house is a place of peace, and not every shelter is prepared by me. There are territories bearing marks of spiritual uncleanness, where peace is drained, mental strength is worn away, and faith is continually tested. You may have thought that everything was coincidence, that hardships were merely difficult circumstances, but in truth there are deep roots belonging to the spiritual realm behind them. Discern carefully, for this very discernment will determine whether you can step into new freedom or remain trapped in a cycle of pain. Have you ever stepped into a house where from the very first moment the atmosphere weighed heavily upon your heart? Have you ever noticed within your family that even without reason, conflicts break out, suddenly arguments escalate uncontrollably, and in the aftermath, only weariness remains? Have you ever seen lingering illness, recurring mishaps, or an inexplicable stagnation that repeats itself again and again? My child, these things are not merely natural occurrences. They are signs that the spiritual atmosphere of the place where you live has been tainted. A house may look clean, tidy, and even luxurious on the outside, yet within it may harbor negative energies, unseen spiritual imprints that the human eye cannot perceive. Many houses are built upon land that once carried curses, misguided rituals, or traumatic events. The memories of violence, betrayal, or loss can imprint themselves upon the atmosphere of a place. And though the residents may change, the spiritual residue remains. This is why some people move into what seems like a beautiful home, but soon after fall into unexplainable crises, sleepless nights, mounting pressure, financial depletion, and relationships unraveling. These things are not random accidents. They are the inheritance of an atmosphere that has never been cleansed. My beloved, I want you to understand that some spiritual battles only end when you leave the old territory. You may pray, you may sing praises, you may strive to shift the atmosphere, but if the very ground itself has been defiled and is no longer part of my will for you, then complete peace will not descend. It is not because you lack faith, but because I am calling you to move on. I do not desire for you to remain in a place where unseen scars continue to bind you in chains of sorrow. Look carefully at your reality. Have you felt that at times your prayers seem unable to rise beyond the roof? Have there been days when your heart feels numb, your petitions dry, even though you remain faithful in seeking me? This is a sign of spiritual obstruction. A house not consecrated to me can easily become a battlefield where the enemy takes advantage to sow disorder. It knows very well that if it can keep you there, your soul will wither, your joy will fade, and your spiritual sharpness will be dulled. But I declare you were not created to live in such a condition. I see how many times you have consoled yourself saying, "Perhaps I just need to be patient a little longer, and then everything will be fine." Yet the truth is, the longer you remain in that place, the more your soul is depleted. I did not call you merely to survive. I called you to live in peace, in abundance, and in the fullness of my presence. Therefore, you must bravely admit your current dwelling is not the final destination. That place was only a stage, a temporary stop along the way. And now the time has come for me to move you forward. My child, remember that discernment is the key. Do not let your natural eyes deceive you with outward appearances of safety or comfort. Listen to the voice of the Spirit within you. If he continues to stir your heart, leaving you restless and unable to settle, then that is a clear warning. Do not dismiss such signs. They are signals from heaven, urging you to prepare for a transition. And this transition will not only change your address, it will usher in a new atmosphere where peace will flow again, where the prayers you lift up will soar freely into the heights. The action you must take right now is to refuse in your heart the idea that the old place is your final stop. Do not bind yourself with thoughts like, "Perhaps this is my fate. Perhaps I must live here forever." No, that is a lie meant to hold you back. Boldly declare, "My current residence is not my ultimate destiny. God has prepared a new place for me." When you confess this, you take the first step out of the invisible chains. Pray that I will move you according to my will. You do not need to rush to pick a new place by your own plans. Place this whole decision in my hands, for only I know the land that is truly for you. Pray like this: "Lord, if the place where I live displeases you, please open a new door and lead me out of this place. I do not want to live in a prison of circumstances. I want to dwell where you reign." Such a sincere prayer will trigger heaven's movement, and the angels will begin to act. Understand that this change is not only for your personal benefit, but also for the future of your family, your children, and the generations to come. The spiritual atmosphere of a home can shape how a child grows up, the endurance of a marriage, and the mental health of every member. When I bring you to a new place, I am also protecting your whole family from repeating past pains. The new house is more than a shelter. It is a territory of rebirth. Therefore, beloved, open your heart to see the truth. Scarcity of peace is not a sign of your weakness. Endless battles are not proof that you have failed. They are evidence that your present dwelling is no longer suitable for your spiritual journey. Believe that I, your God, am bringing you out of darkness and placing you into a brighter territory. You need only one thing: step out of resigned acceptance and into faith. Write this as a declaration of faith: I do not accept the old place as my final fate. I believe God will lead me into a new home where His peace and presence dwell. When you write it, you are planting a seed in the spiritual realm, and heaven will record it. The change has begun, and soon you will see the door open. I call you to stand firm in discernment. Wake up, pray, refuse complacency. For I, the faithful one, am preparing a new dwelling for you, a place without defilement, where peace reigns and where I, myself, will be present with you. My beloved, today I want to give you a spiritual key. This key is not made of iron or bronze, not forged by human hands, but born of heaven. I am the one who holds it, and I want to place it into your hand. This is not merely a symbolic image. It is power to open a new door in your life, a door that leads you out of the old and into freedom, blessing, and my presence. But to receive and use this key, you must learn to live by 4 steps: believe, obey, confess, act. First, you must believe. Faith is not a vague concept, but the conviction that this word is meant personally for you. I do not speak to an indistinct crowd. I speak to you. Every word I speak is personalized, tied to the destiny I have fashioned for you. Place your hand over your heart and say, "This word is for me. That new home is mine. That blessing is my portion." When you believe in this way, you step out of the doubt. That is the enemy's chain. Faith is the first key to opening the door. If you do not believe, the door will remain shut. Yet with even a single sincere spark of trust, heaven will move to bring it to pass. Next is obedience. True faith does not stand still. It always leads to obedience. You may not yet see all the details or understand the method, but I call you to obey each small step I speak. Just as Abraham heard me say, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you," Genesis 1:2-1, and departed without knowing his destination, so you must go. To obey is not to have all the information. To obey is to trust the one who speaks. If I tell you to pray, more obey. If I tell you to let go of an object tied to pain, obey. If I place in your heart a small act, contacting someone, preparing documents, do it. Every step of obedience draws you closer to the door I have appointed. Then comes confession. Your words carry power, for I have given you breath and a voice to cooperate with heaven. Do not let your mouth be a fountain of complaints or fear. Turn it into an instrument of faith. Proclaim openly, "I reject every spiritual defilement. My home will be holy ground. My family will live in the presence of the Lord." When you speak, the heavens take note, and the enemy is constrained. Do not keep your faith hidden as a secret. Confess it like a warrior raising a banner of victory. Your voice can break a heavy atmosphere and redirect destiny. Finally, there is action. Faith does not stop at hearing and speaking. It must become practical steps. Pray regularly, set aside time exclusively for me, give as a prophetic act, and be ready to share your testimony. A small act of faith can become a great shove in the spiritual realm. If the Spirit prompts you to sow a seed, even a small one, is a sign that you trust my provision. Do it with a grateful heart. If you feel compelled to tell a loved one about this promise, do not hesitate. By testifying, you multiply faith and affirm that what I have spoken is true. Beloved, this key does not work by physical strength, but by the harmony between your heart and my word. Each time you believe, obey, confess, and act, you turn the key another notch. When the key has been turned enough, the door will swing open. I know the enemy will try to hinder you, sow doubt, and wear you down, but be steadfast. Remember, I have said, and without faith it is impossible to please God. Hebrews 1:1-6. When you please me by faith, I will answer beyond your expectations. You may think, but I am so small, my faith is so weak. Child, I do not require perfect faith. I only require living faith. A mustard seed is enough to move a mountain. A single confession is enough to break chains. A simple act of obedience is enough for heaven to open a door. You do not need to be perfect. You need to be sincere. I also want you to remember that this key opens not only for you, but for your whole family. When you believe, obey, confess, and act, blessings will overflow to your husband or wife, your children, your parents. The atmosphere in your household will change when someone rises to hold the spiritual key. You will see quarrels quiet, sleep restored, and joy return. It all begins with one person who chooses to believe and obey. Let me remind you, the key is not held by someone else. It is not in the hands of the landlord, the lender, or in your financial circumstances. It is in my hand, and I am ready to give it to you. But only those who reach out by faith will receive. Do not look around for who will help you. Lift your eyes upward, for your help comes from me, the maker of heaven and earth. Beloved, write this now as a pledge. I believe this word is for me. I declare that my home will be holy ground. I will act in faith to enter the new door. When you write it, it is not merely ink on paper. It is a covenant between you and me. Heaven will regard what you write as a spiritual declaration, and the angels will act upon it. You will soon see the signs. A door of opportunity will open. A stranger will offer help. A document will be approved after months of delay. You will know that these are not random events, but proof that the spiritual key is at work. When you take it and use it, you will step through the new threshold with trembling yet joyful heart, and you will say, "The Lord has done this." So, my child, do not hesitate any longer. The key is right before you. Grasp it by faith, turn it with obedience, open it with confession, and enter by action. I am the faithful one, and I will not leave you standing before a door without a way to pass through. Believe, obey, confess, and act. The day you enter the new house is not far off, and then everything will be confirmed. You will truly be living at the center of my will. My beloved child, in this section I want to give you a deeper glimpse into the heavenly mechanism at work, how I use angels' doors and a route from above to lead you out of the old place and into the place I have prepared. You need to know that every great movement in your life has a divine structure. I speak. My messengers act. Doors are opened or closed according to my will, and you are invited to walk step by step according to my guidance. Understanding this will bring you peace in the midst of conflict, for you will know this is not random. It is a celestial march arranged for your good. First, I speak of angels. Angels are not mere images. They are messengers empowered to carry out authority. When I decide to open a route for you, I send those messengers ahead to clear the way. They remove obstacles your eyes cannot see, silence opposing words, place signs, and stir the hearts of those needed to open a door for you. In the spirit, I see angels walking paths you do not yet know, holding the key that only I could forge. They make no noise. They quietly carry out the command. Do not despise small signs, an unexpected call, someone arriving at just the right moment, a door that seems shut but suddenly opens. All are the work of the messengers I send. Next, I speak of doors. There are doors that I open which no one can shut. There are doors I close to protect you from error. The power to open and close doors rests in my hand. Not in mortal people, not in circumstances, not in the enemy. When I say I open a door, opposing forces cannot prevail. Keep your heart steady, for once I have opened, you may enter despite negative talk or outward delay. Often I open doors quietly by small tokens of grace, an approval letter, an offer, a meeting, and if you are sensitive, you will recognize the sign. But sometimes I open openly by an unmistakable intervention that all can see. That is a miracle. In whatever way it happens, be certain a door I open cannot be closed by anyone. I also want you to understand the route from heaven. This is the road I prepare, not the way you choose. The route has stages, clearing obstacles in the spirit, opening small doors that lead to a greater door, bringing witnesses and resources at the exact right time. Heaven knows timing and precise movement. There may be a waiting step to refine your faith. There may be an urgent step of action to test your obedience. You must learn to listen to each instruction. When I say prepare, it is not an empty word. It is the signal that the route is being activated. When I say go, you must go immediately, for the angels have gone before you, and the way has been cleared. There is one element you must remember. I often break the local spiritual strongholds. There are lands and territories where dark powers have long held sway. They have strategies to pull you down, to delay you, to slow you. When I decide to lead you out, I will deal with those obstacles, sometimes entirely in the spiritual realm, sometimes through instruments of earth. Yet I also use you to cooperate by your spoken declarations, by acts of obedience, and by keeping a heart of peace amid the conflict. Do not be afraid when you see signs of resistance. They only prove that the door is precious and worth contending for. Stand firm in my word rather than chasing after anxiety. Therefore, your responsive actions are very specific. First, obey one step at a time. When I speak a small thing, make a phone call, sign a paper, clear a corner of the house, send an email. Do not delay because it seems minor. Small steps are part of the larger route. Obeying step by step means you honor heavenly order. You allow me to arrange things by doing exactly what I have directed. Second, record visions and signs. You may receive impressions, a person's name, a number, a fleeting place in prayer. Write them down immediately. Do not leave them to memory. Writing them down will help you recognize when the person or event appears. Recording is also an act of partnership with heaven. When you write, you boldly declare that you are expecting revelation to be made manifest. Moreover, keeping a record lets you verify later. When it happens, you will know that I led you beforehand. Third, keep your heart at peace amid spiritual warfare. There will be times when everything seems chaotic, documents delayed, supporters stepping back, fear rising. Keeping peace does not mean hiding your emotions, but rather deciding to trust me in the midst of the storm. Practice short prayers, read the word, worship, and seek confirmation from trusted, legitimate people. Peace is a weapon. When you hold peace, the enemy loses ground to attack. Child of mine, I advise you to establish a notebook titled, "The Things I Say." Each morning or evening, record what you sense, names, numbers, dreams, impressions, and when those words come to pass, mark them and give thanks. Prepare practical actions, the file that needs paperwork, a small contingency fund, a list of people you need to contact. Heaven often works through human means. A hidden person will appear to help, an offer will arrive at the right time, but you must be in readiness to receive. I also want you to quietly invite 1 or 2 trustworthy people to act as confirmers. When you share a vision or an impression, they can pray with you and help you discern. Do not expose a revelation to the public too early. Keep sensitivity and discretion. Those who are prudent, prayerful, and of like spirit will be heavenly instruments to confirm the route. Finally, remember, not everything I do is loud. I do most things backstage. Angels clear the way by small deeds that the natural eye finds hard to see. Be patient yet alert. Obey when I speak. Write when I give an impression. Keep peace when the battle comes. When the door opens and you step through, you will understand why every arrangement had to be made as it was. My goal is always to bring you into my presence, my peace and my blessing, and I use angels, doors, and heavenly routes to accomplish it. Pray now, Lord, let me see the sign, let me know the next step, and let me keep peace in my heart as the path is cleared. When you pray, I listen. When you obey, I act. When you walk in faith, the angels will lead you safely to the place I have prepared. My beloved child, I now desire to touch one of the heaviest burdens in your heart, the concern over finances when I call you to move. Many times you have asked yourself, how will I pay? How will I manage? Will I have enough? These questions have become chains that hold you back, stirring fear, and even making you doubt my voice. But today I affirm to you, I am your provider. It is not your job, not another person, not circumstances, nor any economic system. I alone am your source of life, your source of provision, your source of blessing. From the beginning I revealed myself as Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who provides. When Abraham prepared to offer up his son, he did not know what would happen. Yet when I intervened and gave a ram in his place, he called that place Jehovah Jireh, Genesis 2:2-1-4. In the same way, in the midst of confusion and fear, you will see my hand arranging things supernaturally. I already have the solution before you even perceive the need. You only need to trust that I am the source, and all other channels are simply instruments I use to deliver provision. I know that moving requires expenses, deposits, renovations, purchases, transportation, and at times complicated legal paperwork. But remember, I never call you to a new place without providing the necessary means for you to get there. If I have opened the door, I will also supply the resources. My blessings and financial miracles are never generic. I tailor them for each of my children. To one I cancel long-standing debts. To another I open a job opportunity. To another I revive a project thought to be lost. To another still I bring an unexpected promotion. None of these things are accidents. They are evidence that I am walking with you. Recall the times I have already provided in the past. There were moments when you had no idea how to pay, yet a sum of money arrived from an unexpected place. There were times you lost a job, but then a new door opened with greater stability. Those moments were not luck. They were the imprint of my hand. Use those memories of my provision to strengthen your faith today. If I did it once, I will do it again and again. But my child, I also want you to learn this truth. Financial miracles are not given merely to ease your anxieties, but to deepen your spiritual maturity. I use this process to teach you wise stewardship so that you not only receive, but also learn how to allocate, to give, and to build your future on the standards of my kingdom. Do not simply wait for miracles as a temporary fix. Instead, ask me for long-term strategies. I may place in your heart a small business idea, a new skill to develop, or a mentor to guide you. Listen carefully, for strategy itself is part of the miracle. I also call you to practice gratitude. When financial provision comes, whether great or small, do not take it for granted. Immediately lift a prayer of thanksgiving and acknowledge me as the source. Do not say luck, do not say coincidence, but openly declare that it is the Lord's provision. Gratitude opens new doors for further supply. When you testify of my goodness, you encourage others who are weighed down by the same worries, and their faith is strengthened. I declare some debts will be fully settled in this season. Some financial doors long shut will suddenly open. Some projects thought dead will come back to life. Some jobs will bring unexpected promotions. I will do this not only to lighten your load, but also to prove that I am the faithful one. Yet you must also cooperate by exercising wise management, make a spending plan, avoid waste, and always put me first in everything. My beloved child, I want to break the fear of money that lingers in your heart. That fear does not come from me, but from the enemy, for he knows that if he can keep you bound in worry, you will hesitate to walk according to my word. Yet when you recognize that I am your provider, you will be free. You will no longer live under the pressure of what if I don't have enough, but you will dwell in the peace of knowing my Lord is more than enough. Do this today. Write down your financial needs, lay them before me, and ask that I give you strategy, insight, and wisdom to steward the resources I place in your hands. Pray, Lord, I believe you are my provider. Open my eyes to see the doors you have already prepared, and teach me to manage wisely so that I do not miss your blessing. Also establish this practice whenever provision comes. Take time to thank me. If possible, mark it with an act of offering. Not as a purchase for more provision, but as a declaration that your heart is not bound to money but anchored in me. This act will keep your heart free and will unlock even greater blessings. My child, you are about to witness financial miracles that will accompany your relocation. You will marvel as I arrange things. Debts will vanish, documents long delayed will be approved quickly, new opportunities will open, and streams of income will be released. When these things take place, you will know with certainty this was not by human effort but by the hand of the Lord. You will walk through the new doorway not only with a spiritual key, but with the assurance that every need has been supplied. Rest in this truth: I am Jehovah Jireh. I have seen your needs ahead of time, and I have already prepared the provision. All I ask is that you place your trust in me, walk in obedience, give thanks continually, and steward wisely. Then you will see that financial miracles will not be a one-time event, but a rhythm woven into your new calling. And the new home will not only be a dwelling place, but a living testimony that the Lord is faithful, the Lord is provider, and the Lord goes before you in all things. My dear child, today, I want to impress upon your heart a vital truth. The transition I have promised does not always unfold instantly. Between the words spoken and the fulfillment there is often a gap. That gap is not abandonment, but the space where I train your faith, perseverance, and hope. For I do not merely wish to hand you a new house. I desire to build within you a firm foundation that will allow you to sustain and protect the blessing for years to come. Do you see it? In every journey throughout Scripture, I allowed seasons of testing. Abraham waited many years before seeing the promised son. Joseph endured the prison before he stepped into the palace. Israel walked through the wilderness before entering the promised land. None of these seasons were meaningless. They were schools of the Spirit where hope was refined and faith took deeper root. You too are walking through such a season. True hope is not empty wishing, but an anchor for the soul. When you hold hope in me, you do not sit idly waiting. You rise each day with diligence, remaining faithful in the small tasks before you. Hope knows how to work. It does not surrender to despair or drift with fate, but acts as though the promise were already near. It packs the luggage, clears the heart, continues to pray, and nurtures expectation. Remember, this perseverance is not an emotion, but a decision repeated again and again. You may wake each morning still in the same old house, but if you choose to believe that I am at work, you have sown a seed of hope. The paperwork may not yet be approved, but if you keep praising me, you prove your faithfulness. Every day you stand firm is a step closer to fulfillment. My child, the enemy will try to steal hope from your heart. He whispers, "Nothing will change. It's all just talk. You've waited too long." But you must answer with faith. My God does not lie. What he has promised, he will bring to pass. When you resist lies with declarations of truth, your hope becomes a fire that cannot be extinguished. I also want you to understand that perseverance does not mean enduring in despair, but standing with expectant joy. Like a farmer who, after sowing seed, does not sit and weep because the harvest has not yet appeared. He tends the soil, pulls the weeds and waters, because he is confident the seed will sprout. So it is with you. When you pray, keep a pure heart, continue to work, and live faithfully. You are tending the seed of the promise. In my appointed time, the harvest will come, and no one can prevent it. You may feel weary now. There will be sleepless nights and moments when you ask, when will I step into the new house? But dear one, let your heart be encouraged. Each day of waiting is building within you a solid foundation. When you finally walk through that new door, you will not only receive material joy, but a matured faith, a grateful heart, and a deeper understanding of me. I declare he who endures to the end will be saved. Matthew 2:4-1-3. This word speaks not only of eternal life, but of the principle behind every promise. When you hold fast to the end, you will witness deliverance, change, and fulfilled miracles. The enemy does not win as long as you do not give up. He only wins when you surrender. But if you continue to believe and to persevere, you have already taken your place on the side of victory. Focus on doing your part, be faithful, pray, praise, and prepare. I will take care of the rest. You do not need to figure out how I will provide. You do not need to know the exact day or hour. You only need to trust that I am working behind the scenes. Just as a builder lays the foundation before raising the walls, I am preparing every detail so that when you enter, everything will be complete. Thank you for listening to this message. Know that you are not merely an audience. You are chosen to live in the presence of God's Word every day. Don't forget to click subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any spiritual messages. Amen.